field event. Ty, you got any picks?
I think Adler, man, if he was here, he would definitely win that. But I think Sprague's a good runner. Yellow Hoss is a great runner, except for the guys probably. And then I think Brooke Wells with the track and field background. I think it's a safe bet to go with her on the women's side, and Tia's always proved to be a phenomenal runner.
If you were approaching this event, they've got, I think it's 10 minutes. Have you read it? It's a mile, and then you've got 10 minutes total, I think, to complete the.
I think it's sprint first, unless they change something.
It's mile first. They did change it, yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, so it's mile first, and I don't know the exact details, but let's just say it's mile, and then you don't get rest really. It's a time cap. How would you approach that, knowing you've got mile, and then you've got sprints with the weight? If it were you, what would you do on your mile?
I mean, I think you go maybe within 15 seconds of your PR.
Yep.
You don't want to go max effort and have to lay on the ground, but you can also lose a lot of time on that mile versus a sprint that's maybe going to take, I mean, if it's down the football field with a sandbag, you're looking at still probably under a minute. Definitely, or maybe under 30 seconds
Stay in the middle
even.
lane.
Yep.
So it's hard to.
But you cannot have you can't PR your mile. You've got to take something off the gas. Do you think, like in a field of 40,
Use the right lane to keep right onto University Drive.
that somebody will expend themselves too much in the mile?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think someone who doesn't have a mile time that's going to compete well is going to overexpend on the mile. Maybe a hopper or,
Keep right.
I mean, I think
Then turn right
Dallon's
onto South
mile's
University
probably
Drive.
good enough by now.
Yeah.
At the next light,
But yeah,
turn
someone
right.
like a hopper, an explosive athlete might outdo themselves on the mile a little bit, but just trying to be competitive. And I think for them personally, that's probably the right
At
move.
the light, turn right onto South University Drive.
If you don't have a sub 5:45 mile in this event, you probably have to run all out just to be able to hang, because there will be guys who are around that 5-minute mark, and a 45-second head start on a sprint is just brutal.
That's true. I'm wondering, I think if it was just a straight mile, we'd have people breaking 5, but do you think somebody still will break 5? Either
1.1
sprint
miles.
or right
Turn
around
right into
5.
the parking lot.
We might see someone break 5. I think, just Sprague. I think Sprague and Haas are probably well into the 4s, and so I think even dialing it back a little bit, they could break 5.
All right, we're here with Ruan.
Potgieter.
There we go. All right, so obviously you had a really good first event, and now do you know where you're sitting exactly going into tomorrow?
Before this event, I think I was sitting in 26th place.
Okay.
My first event quite well, finished in 5th.
Yep.
Then deadlifts has always been like a big problem for me, and then just a combination of GHD, because I hurt my back a little bit in training just before we flew, so I avoided like a lot of lifting, and I avoided like that overarching of a GHD for like 2 weeks before. So I think it's just like the combination of the two wasn't great for me, so I knew that was going to be a good event. And then it's just like I had a serious conversation with my coach. I don't do too bad for me on the third event, which was that bike and burpee one. It's just like all the games I have to cheer, they're all big. They're all like 90 kilo plus. I don't know exactly what does in pounds, like close to 200 pounds plus, and I'm only like 180 pounds. So I'm as good as I'm gonna be at the weight that I am. So the big thing that we're taking away is like I just need to put on more mass, so I'm able to move machines and move weight better to be able to compete with these guys.
So you see in that type of event, and forgive me for my ignorance, but the bike itself is even a power move.
Yeah.
A power movement. We're not talking about, I mean, obviously it's a sprint, but it's not just, that last event there, the more powerful guys, it seems like Hopper, for instance,
100%.
they're just able to push it out
like,
more.
It's really is the fact that like if you have more weight, you'll have more power.
Yep.
I did some training with a weighted vest on, and just with a weighted vest going into a bike and then doing something else, I went 10 seconds faster just with an actual weight vest on my body. So it really like I thought it was like can't be true, man. Like you just have to be strong. Like you gotta I put a vest on, and 20 cals, instead of taking me in 30 seconds, I did it in 20 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So I literally just like, you got weight on you, you're able to push more, and your power naturally goes up. So a big thing we're taking away is like, I'm really trying to enjoy the experience, because like in Africa, I don't want to brag, I'm not the bragging type,
Sure.
but I dominated in the semi-final.
Yeah.
And that's just like, Africa is not used to this level and this size of athlete, honestly, in my opinion. We've got a few big guys there, but the fitness level is not really the same.
Even here, you've seen the weight of the athlete, the average over the years, has
gradually gone up.
Exactly.
And I even told myself, like, okay, maybe now it's a running event, maybe I can like maybe take a few of the big guys now, let me see how these big dogs run. And looking at these big guys run 20 to 30 seconds faster again than me, and that on a running event is insane. Like, it really puts in perspective, if I want to make it again next year and I want to combat and I actually want to compete with these guys and you know, get something seriously done with them, I have to put on serious size. Like, I got to put on 10 extra kilos, which is almost 45 pounds to be able to compete with these guys. And realistically 30 pounds.
It seems like that's something you really can't know. Like, for me, my whole thing is the open, because I'm not an elite athlete, and I learn stuff about myself during the open because that's my chance to compete. It's almost as if you, until you're actually there, there's certain things you don't know whether you need to work on them or not. Because you're dominating over there, but then you come here to the games with the top 40 male athletes in the world, and you learn some stuff about your game.
100%. Like take the first event, I know that there is some stuff in capacity that I can compete with these guys with. Like, I had the relative, I think if you take the running out, I had maybe Yellow Hosta swam a little bit faster than me, but I really think like if you had to take the run out, I would have won the whole event with the swim. So there is things that I know I can compete with, but for majority of it, it really is like speaking to Brent Fikowski, speaking to I spoke to Cole Sager, speaking to Pat Vellner. Like, you need to put on size if you want to compete with these guys. And it's not a sad fact, but I learned something well in the first event. I learned something very, very well, and they say you learn better from your failures than what you do from winning. And that's a big thing I'm taking away from this year, is that if I can put on some more size, I've got more things to be able to compete with the guys over here. And it's a very humbling experience, and I'm enjoying every second of it. I'm not gonna lie, like outside of camera, like if I go home, I'm pretty sad and bummed, because it's like, it's a new experience for me. Not that I win everything all the time, but to be able to come like last or second last, or like, it's not a great feeling, but I'm trying to take it as a positive thing. It's like, okay, just learn, next year it won't happen again. So
does it actually feel like you're in a different, I guess the example is in high school wrestling, I'd wrestle a guy and I'd be like, oh, he's really good. And then he'd get beat by someone, and then I'd see him get beat by someone, and you learn that there's just these different tiers. You're an elite athlete. You're an elite athlete in South Africa. Do you actually feel like when you get here, now obviously you can keep up and you can do well. You took 5th in the first event, but do you feel like on certain things it's almost a totally different tier that you hadn't quite felt yet?
100%. Like, you always push hard in training, and I don't feel like I'm not training hard. Like, I'm training as hard as I can. All the events, I'm giving it 100%. And like you say, if I compare stuff that I'm doing now with Africa, I think I'll do pretty well. Might not win all the events, but I'll do enough to stay close to the top 5. And just seeing what these guys are able to do, like, again, Ricky Garrard running a mile in sub 5 minutes. All these other guys close to 5 minutes.
Luke Parker, 220 pounds.
Like, he's a big dude. Like, he's shorter than me, but he's a big dude. So it makes me excited to see that if it's possible for other big guys to do this, and if I can put on size, I'm sure I can do it as well. So I'm trying my best to just stay positive and just learn more with each event.
Awesome. So we got, I'll wrap this up because I know you got to get some sleep. So we got 3 events tomorrow. We know 2 of them, right? It's hard to keep up with this now. There's one that's unknown. Is that correct? Or
there is officially Chad. And again, Dave Castro's words, there is a twist on the event. Don't know what that twist is going to be. And then it's the heavy lifting, the clean ladder. And then it's something else. And my head almost wants to say, we're doing a hero workout, we're doing a heavy lift. I personally feel gymnastics will come straight after that.
I think so too.
So
is the heavy lift going to be, does that
that's
line
gonna
up with other things an issue?
That's something else that also I'm going to learn. Like, big guy, like I know where my lifting's at, but it's not just honestly speaking, it's not close to where these guys are at.
Okay.
I'm really hoping I can just, because they're going to cut the lifting again, like the top 30 or top 20 or top 10 or whatever it goes through. So I just want to be able to get through the first line. Sure. And then if you say like the cuts are only happening at the end of Saturday, then I'll be really hoping to make up some points again in gymnastics.
Me and Ruan were talking about how there are some things out there. I think it was Halpin's Instagram said that it was 30 going into Sunday and that we were going to have through Saturday's event. So we still need to confirm that, but we were talking about that. If that's the case and there's a gymnastics workout, say handstand walking, how would you feel about something like that?
Very excited.
You won that event in semifinals, right?
Yeah. That, again, like my experience with Africa region, like I'm one of the better guys there.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that, again, from some workouts I've seen, even the open, like some handstand events, I've had some competitive times against guys in America. So I'm really hoping the cuts happen after that, because I'll like even my interview with Dave, I'm really hoping I can showcase some gymnastics. Just because they haven't tested it yet. But we'll just see how it is. I'm excited for everything that comes up, and I'm going to just continue to do my best.
One last thing on Chad, is that something that you feel like you know what to expect or where you're going to place, or is that a little bit of an unknown for everyone?
From what I've seen from the start of this competition to where we are now, everything is unknown from what the athletes can do and what I can do and what I thought I'd be able to do. So again, I'm just going to go and do my best, and whatever I place. My wife actually asked me a question like this morning after the second event. She said, "Are you upset?" I was like, "No, I'm not upset. Because I'm giving everything I've got. If I had made a mistake, or if I feel like afterwards I can tell you like I held back, I'll be upset with myself. But honestly, in my capacity, I'm giving it 100%. And if that puts me last, I can't be upset because I gave my best. So I'm taking everything I can, learning, and then next year, make sure I'm heavier, make sure I qualify, and make sure I try and make a bigger impact at the games."